This is the Louie T Network.
Man, I love some football. Man, I love some football. My favorite week is week 1, cause I'm watching football. But first comes the preseason, and I don't take a day off. And then it gets even better when your team makes the playoffs. 32 teams go hard for one thing. They work for one thing. That Super Bowl ring. 32 teams go hard for one thing. They work for one thing. That Super Bowl ring. We in the lab room.
Man, Louie T, welcome. You are in the lab room. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. Week number 6 in the National Football League. Dallas Cowboys at the Seattle Seahawks in the game of the week. And what a game it was. This is what the game of the week is supposed to look like every week. This is the blueprint right here for the game of the week. And I couldn't have anticipated this game being as good as it was, but I dubbed Week 6, after watching every game in Week 6 in the National Football League, I dubbed Week 6 Statement Sunday in the National Football League, and no one made a more profound and emphatic statement in Week 6 than the Dallas Cowboys. And I'll tell you, at the end of this beautiful football game, at the end of this wrap-up, I will tell you what that profound statement was. And it was heard loud and clear round the league. But let's jump into this breakdown of this remarkable football game out in the North Pacific West. Cowboys at the Seattle Seahawks. 43-yard Jermaine Kearse catch sets up a field goal. 3-0. Seahawks take the lead in this game. And something that I was looking for in this game, because I said to myself, and I was like a student in school that needed to see that. I needed to see one more example from the teacher. One more. I think I know how to do it, but if you show me one more time, I know I'll have it down pat. And that's how I felt about this Dallas Cowboys defense. I said, look, man, I've seen what you do. I've seen your work this year. Okay? I saw what you did to Tennessee. I saw what you did to the St. Louis Rams after struggling early in that football game. I saw what you did to them. I saw what you were able to do to the Houston Texans. I've seen your work. I've seen what you've done this season. All right, I need to see it one more time. And this time it's against a good team. You do that against the Tennessee Titans, whoopee. I'm not getting excited about that. You do that against the Houston Texans, I'm not that impressed. That's Ryan Fitzpatrick. This is a real offense. What is the defense going to do in this game? I needed to see it. And I said, if you show me one more time, I'm a believer. Make me a believer. Here's your opportunity on the road, hostile environment, good football team, dominant run game, quarterback that doesn't make mistakes, makes great decisions. Show me one more time. Cowboys defense said, I'll do more than show you. I will tell you that I'm dominant in this game. Enough said. Enough said. It's 3-0. Seahawks in front. Great play by Barry Church to stop a touchdown on 3rd down to force them to have to kick that field goal as he knocks the football away from the intended receiver in the end zone. Great play by Barry Church. It's 3-0. Cowboys were flying around the field on defense in this game, and that was one of those plays where you said, hey, this could be one of those days where the Cowboys show defensively that they belong among the elite in this league. They're not a joke. I took them for a joke early on this season, as many of us did, but they're no laughing matter any longer, especially after this football game. Doug Baldwin blocks a punt, and this play comes right on the heels of Tony Romo taking a shot to his midsection by Bobby Wagner. And I didn't think it was a dirty play. I thought it was a clean hit. He didn't use his helmet. He didn't spear him. Shoulder to the midsection, and Tony went down. I think he just had the wind knocked out of him. At first, though, I thought that could be some ribs. I've seen Tony with some broken ribs before. So I said, I don't want to see that in this game. I want the best of both teams. I don't want guys going down with injuries. I want what you got. Whatever you came in the game with, I want you to stay that way. I want to see who's better right now. And so I needed Tony to get up. He got up. We were fine. But the ensuing punt is blocked. As Doug Baldwin was out there blocking the gunner, comes in at the last second, is unaccounted for, blocks the punt, is scooped up by Mike Morgan, taken into the end zone. It's 10-0. Crowd is raucous. It's deafening in Seattle. And I actually heard Prime say this. Deion Sanders said, at this point, I thought the game was over. And when Deion said that, I was like, me too. I thought the game was over too. I looked at it, I said, man, this reminds me of the last time the Cowboys was in Seattle. I don't know if you remember that game or not, but the last time the Cowboys were in Seattle, this same exact scenario played out early in the ball game. Cowboys get a punt block, it's taken to the crib, and they end up drubbing the Cowboys 27-7 in that football game. And so I had said to myself, man, this is a bad omen. This looks too much like the last time these two teams met. And see, what I made the mistake of doing at that point of the game was I was thinking that this isn't the same Cowboys team. This is a different Cowboys team. See, this Cowboys team can run the football. Most dominant run game in the National Football League. DeMarco Murray right now on an NFL record-setting pace on the ground. The most dominant front five offensive line in the National Football League right now. When you spend first round pick after first round pick after first round pick, like the Cowboys have done in the last 3 drafts, and build this type of rushing attack and build this type of offensive line, then you too can be just like the Cowboys and run the football the way that they're running it. I forgot that this is an offense that relies on the run and allows Tony Romo to have the pressure taken off of him. He didn't have to sling it 37 times, so he's not going to throw 2 interceptions. Instead, he's going to throw for 289 yards and 2 touchdowns and no picks. This is a different Cowboys team whose defense isn't ranked at the bottom of the league, but actually one of the better defenses in the league. I forgot all of those things. That's why I thought that this game was over at 10-0. But the Cowboys quickly reminded me that, hey, this is not that team. We're a different team. And so they get the football back. Momentum on the side. Uncle Mo is on the Seattle Seahawks sideline, bag of chips, beverage in his hand, straight cold chilling. Uncle Mo is chilling with the Seahawks, and the Cowboys tell him, hey man, come over here with us. Come over here with the winning team. And so Uncle Mo slowly walks over to the Cowboys sideline as Joseph Randle has a 48-yard run. And that's what that offensive line, that's what those big boys up front can do for you. This was strength against strength. Seahawks coming into the game, best run defense. Cowboys coming into the game, best rush. Oh, somebody had to go, and it ended up being the Seattle Seahawks rushing defense. They were pounded in this game. Joseph Randle, huge 48-yard run to really get things jump-started on this drive for the Cowboys. Then Tony Romo finds Jason Witten down to the 6-yard line, wide open, sets up a situation where Byron Maxwell has a chance to make a play. Now, again, I don't really know how good of an opportunity he had to pick this ball up. I do know he got his hands on it. I'm not sure if the Cowboys receiver actually had his hand in there at the same time, which would have made it all but impossible for him to pick it off. I just know he got his hands on it, had an opportunity to make a play, did not. Very next play, Gavin Escobar, back of the end zone, wide open. Romo hits him. It's 10-7. Seahawks up, but Cowboys have stolen the momentum back in this game. And at the beginning of the game, after the block punt, the Cowboys had been smacked in the mouth. They got hit, and they went down on the canvas, and they got up, and they said, that's all you got, Seattle? Is that the best you can do? After that, after they took that blow from the Seahawks, I think the Seahawks mentally, they were affected in this game. It's 10-7. Seahawks up, but the Cowboys, they smell blood in the water. That ends the first quarter. It's 10-7. Seahawks up in this game. Cowboys put together a 16-play drive that leads to a field goal because of an excellent knockaway by Byron Maxwell. Unfortunately for the Seahawks. That would be his last play of the game as he comes down awkwardly after the knockdown, isn't able to get up, is in pain, hurts himself, does not return to the football game. That would be a huge injury that would later come back and bite this Seahawks team in the tuchus later on down the line. But after that play, field goal is knocked home. It's 10-all. Cowboys and Seahawks knotted up in this game. Backs out of the backfield, absolutely killing the Hawks defense. And this is something I'm not used to seeing from the Seattle Seahawks. One thing that great defenses do is they tackle well. They run to the football. They swarm. And those are two things that the Seahawks do. They tackle well in space, one-on-one tackling. They do it as good as anyone in the league, and they swarm to the football. They're a swarm defense. And in this game, too many times, I saw guys one-on-one, A, missing, and B, nobody else there to help them. A lot of spread out, a lot of space for Cowboys receivers and backs to work with out in space when they caught the football. And one play I can recall, Cole Beasley on a 3rd and 9, catches a football, runs around the defender, the slot corner, and is able to get up the field. No Seattle Seahawks defenders in sight. After he makes that first guy miss, is able to get 11 and a first down on 3rd and 9. Again, Seahawks, one of the better third down defensive teams in the league, especially when they get teams in 3rd and long. That was not the case in this game. A lot of easy catches out of the backfield and a lot of wide open space to navigate after the catch. A prime example, 3rd and 14. Joseph Randle catches the football out of the backfield. There's not a Seahawk defender in sight. They drop back into a soft zone, nobody underneath. He catches the football and is able to pick up 18 yards unabated on the play. That is atypical of this Seahawks defense. I don't know what was going on, but the Cowboys, they were up here. The Seahawks defensively, the Cowboys had them up here, and they didn't really know what was going on in this game, and they were missing tackles. This was a tough day for the Seattle Seahawks. So after that 18-yard pickup on 3rd and 14 for Joseph Randle, then Dez Bryant gets a huge gain on Richard Sherman. They call him for tripping as well, which I don't know. I thought that was a bogus call. I didn't see it. Maybe I just missed it. I didn't see a tripping call. It really didn't matter. It didn't really factor in when it's all said and done because they were inside the 20 where the Cowboys, so it's half the distance to the goal. So it really wasn't that big of a gain from the penalty, but still, I didn't see the penalty, and I don't want to give away any yards, especially the way the Cowboys are moving the football. I don't want to give them anything for free. And so you tackle on that penalty, sets up a Jason Witten 3rd down touchdown from Tony Romo, and I've talked about this before with Tony Romo. And let me say this, I gotta get this off my chest one last time because I am a Tony Romo apologist. I always tell Cowboys fans this because Cowboys fans love piling on Tony Romo. Yes, he makes some boneheaded decisions and throws late in ball games, but the reason why you're even in those ball games is because of number 9. So let me say this one last time. Tony Romo is a top 7 quarterback in this league, top 10 quarterback in this league. So for all of you out there that always talk about Tony Romo like a dog and you want to bash him and you want to replace him, where's the guy you want to replace him with? Show me that guy. Show me who he needs to be replaced with. Show me that guy because you don't have that guy. You never have had that guy on your roster. And you can talk about drafting somebody for what? When you've got one of the best quarterbacks in the league on your team, nobody extends a play. Nobody escapes and extends quite like Tony Romo, maybe with the exception of A-Rod. Other than those two guys, you won't find anybody in the business doing it better. So, miss me with all the Tony Romo talk. Because I always say this, and this is my last time saying this, because I've been beating Cowboys fans up with this for the longest time. And I'm going to stop after today. Maybe I won't. Maybe I have to say it again later on down the line when I'm defending Tony again, but I can take you back to the days of Chad Hutchinson. I can take you back to the days of Quincy Carter. I can take you back to the days when you were struggling at the quarterback position with Drew Henson. I can take you back to the days of Drew Bledsoe and Vinny Testaverde. I can take you there. If you want to go, I can take you there. You don't want to go back there. So, miss me with the Tony Romo talk on this play. Way too much time for Tony Romo. Way too much time. He extends the play because the offensive line has done a wonderful job of stonewalling any type of rush. Finds Jason Witten right by the goal line, wide open, hits him. And it really wasn't a wide open play. He zinged it in there touchdown. Cowboys assume the lead 17-10. That's your score at the half. Cowboys up 7. They've really dominated this game up until this point. You want to be honest. This game is closer than it should be because of the special teams play of the Seahawks blocking that punt. Without that block punt, this is a 17-3 game. The Seahawks are being dominated right now. Cowboys D surrenders their first down. Check this out. Check this out. Surrenders their first down in the third quarter since that opening possession 43-yard pass to Jermaine Kearse. So did you hear what I just said? First down since the opening possession of the game on that 43-yard pass to Jermaine Kearse. Seahawks have not had a first down since then. So that means the entire first quarter, essentially, no first downs in the second quarter. They're just getting their first down since then. Woo-wee! If that's not dominant, I don't know what is. Cowboys defense dominant right now in this game. They give up that first down, though, however, on a 32-yard beast mode run. Here's a problem I had with the Seahawks. And I've had this problem with them somewhat all season long. Their inability to stick with the run. And they're a run first. And sometimes, you know, this happens with these teams that are dominant on the ground and they play dominant defense. And you got a young quarterback and you want to develop that quarterback, you can go away from the run sometimes. Or you can try to get cute with the run and you want to run Russell Wilson on read option and all of these things. You can get a little cute sometimes. You want to get Percival involved and you want to throw him 18 bubble screens. And sometimes you can get away from what works and who you are as a football team. You are beast mode if you are the Seattle Seahawks. That's your bread and butter. That's what's going to win you games. That's what has won you games. That's what's gotten you to this point. 10 carries, 61 yards, not enough touches for your best football player. And I just said that. Your most consistent football player is Marshawn Lynch. And you can tell me it's Russell Wilson. I'd listen to you. You want to tell me it's Percival? I won't listen to you. He's a one-trick pony. And I hate the fact that he's in Seattle now because he won't grow as a football player in Seattle. He was starting to develop as a receiver and a guy that you could do multiple things with, but he was starting to grow as a receiver. They were running different routes with him, drag routes, slant routes, comebacks, deep routes, post, deep post. He was running almost the whole entire route tree. It wasn't the whole route tree. He wasn't running dig routes and things of that nature, but he was almost running the entire route tree his last year in Minnesota. He comes to Seattle, and now they've put him in a box. They've taken him back to the most elementary and basic of fundamentals of the game. They're not allowing him to do anything. Everything is at the line of scrimmage. It's a screen. It's a bubble screen. It's a hitch. It's him in the backfield on a jet sweep. It's him in the backfield catching a pitch. They're handing him the football out of the backfield. Nothing is down the field, allowing him to utilize his speed. Nothing is him developing as a receiver. Everything is short. So your best player, to me, offensively, most consistent, definitely by far, Marshawn Lynch. 10 carries? That's it? For your best player? That's all you're going to give him? 32-yard run? I thought Darren Bevel, after the 32-yard run, would wake up and say, man, I haven't fed my beast yet. I haven't fed the beast yet, man. Let me do that. Nope, 10 carries. That's it. That's all the man had. I don't know what to say. And if you continue to do this, you're going to lose more football games because the running game is your bread and butter. And until you realize that, you're going to run up against teams like the Cowboys that can play defense, they're going to stymie you. They're going to stymie your offense when you don't run the football consistently. So, after that run, though, the Cowboys clamp down defensively, and they're able to force a punt. On the ensuing punt, Dwayne Harris, come on, man. Muffs the punt. Seahawks recover deep in Cowboys. And all the momentum in the world was on the Cowboys side at this point. They're up 17-10. The Seahawks have done nothing offensively in this game. When I say nothing, I just explained to you that they just got their first down since the first quarter, 12 minutes left in the first quarter. So they've been dominated defensively. Offensively, they've been dominated. And the Cowboys are moving the football offensively as well. They're in a position to take straight stranglehold of this game. Total control of this game. And Dwayne Harris puts it on the floor. Puts it on the ground. Put the church's money on the floor. Shame on you. So now the Seahawks are in business. And you know, a good football team is going to seize an opportunity if you give it to them. So Russell Wilson, read option, 9 yards, touchdown, just like that. We're tied up at 17. Yikes. So that's a big play. Miscommunication between Romo and Travis Frederick, your center, leads to a fumble. He snaps it before Romo's ready. He's barking out orders and trying to get everybody on the same page. Frederick snaps the ball. And this is part of that noise and the whole environment that is CenturyLink and in Seattle with the 12th man. You're going to get mistakes like this. Hit him in his knee, right in his kneecap, or his shin more like, and bounces off. Tony tries to track it down. He can't. Seahawks grab the football, and they're in business again. But then this Cowboys defense that was large all day stands up defensively, forces a field goal attempt. Seahawks are only able to get 3 out of that great field position. It's 20-17. Seahawks reassume the lead in this game. Boys respond with a 47-yard strike to T-Will. So Romo up top to T-Will. He comes down with it. And I already said, this kid is a star in the making, is Terrence Williams. And T-Will, across from Dez, they're going to be one of the most dangerous 1-2 punches in this league if they continue on the pace that they're on as far as growth is concerned. That sets up a 50. Boy, Dan Bailey. I talked about Dan Bailey, man. Field goal kickers can be so huge in this league. And Dan Bailey, to me, is one of the best field goal kickers and most dangerous weapons in this entire National Football League with his leg, because this changed the game right here. 56 yards on the road in Seattle in that kind of environment. If he misses this kick, do you know how big of a miss that would have been? Great field position, number one. Number two, you flip the mentality of both teams in this game now, and everything changes. But he knocks it right down. 56 like it was. He knocked it home like it was 46. It's now 20 all in this game as we head to the fourth quarter. Huge kick by Dan Bailey, man. That dude is something else. So, Richard Sherman, and I talked about earlier in the game that Byron Maxwell injury looming large. Well, you know that Richard Sherman usually does not flip sides. He stays on one side and checks the receiver that's in front of him. Well, Richard Sherman had to follow Dez Bryant around the field because Byron Maxwell was no longer in the game. So now the Seahawks didn't trust, Burley or one of these other guys to come in and check Dez one-on-one, which they shouldn't. I'll take my chances with T-Will getting loose over Dez because Dez is a beast. Okay, you don't want Dez getting an opportunity one-on-one with a backup corner. He will eat that boy, yum, yum, eat him up. Yum, yum, eat him up. He will eat that young boy alive. So what they did is they said, hey, Rich, I know you're not used to this, and we normally don't ask you to do this, but I'm going to need you to follow Dez around the field. Wherever he goes, you go. Treat him like your buddy. My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy. Wherever Dez goes, you go. So you had to be his buddy. Wherever he went, you had to follow him. And Sherman made 2 big plays on this possession, stopping Dez from getting his hands on the football. And the Cowboys were deep in their own territory, so they had to punt. And it was a short punt at that, gave the Seahawks great field position, and they convert that into a field goal. It's now 23-20 in this game. So really right now, the difference in the game is the Seattle Seahawks special teams. Their special teams is keeping them afloat in this game. And the Cowboys special teams, they're doing them a huge disservice in this game. You got a short punt. You got Dwayne Harris with the muff that led to some points, led to a touchdown. You got a block punt that led directly to a touchdown. So you're talking about 17 points that could directly or indirectly be credited to this Cowboys special teams. You take those 17 points off the board, you're talking about a 6-20 game for the Cowboys. I mean, special teams had that huge of an impact in this game. Dez Bryant with a leaping NSG grab on Sherman. And if you don't know what an NSG grab is, it's simple. It's a nut sack grab. Hey, Sherman, go ahead and wipe that ball juice and ball fragment off your helmet and your skull as Dez goes up, puts the nut sacks right on your helmet, snags the football down, makes a huge play, then the play of the game. And this is what Tony Romo does. For all you Tony Romo haters out there, for all of you Cowboys fans that have been trying to run Tony out of town, this is what the man has been doing his entire career. And it's almost like Jordan shooting a fadeaway. You know it's coming. You know it's coming. And you still can't stop it. So Bruce Irvin, they try to double team Bruce Irvin. They send a tight end out there. And Bruce beats the tight end so the tackle can't get his hands. Bruce beats him around the corner. And he's going straight for Tony Romo. And I don't understand why guys don't come after Tony Romo more control. Because Tony always is looking out of the corner of his helmet. Tony is standing there and Tony is waiting. And just like Jordan with that fadeaway, he's ready to spin. So as soon as you come, Tony's going to hit you with that spin move. Oh, you thought you had me. I'm gone. And Tony spun out of the sack, which he always does. I don't think anybody does that better than Tony Romo. Hands down, he does that the best in the league. Spins out of the sack, and then is able to run back up into the pocket. Bruce Irvin, who was on the ground because Tony left him there with the spin move, is trying to dive at his ankles, and Tony unleashes. And again, it's 3rd and 20. Keep in mind, 3rd and 20 here. Okay, Cowboys don't pick this up. This could have huge ramifications later on down the line. I mean, we're getting deep into the 4th quarter. If the Seahawks can get the football back and put together any semblance of a drive and score something, that could be huge. So this is a huge play. Tony throws a dart to the sidelines. And there's 2 Cowboys receivers in the area, but he's aiming for T. Will. And T. Will makes the most beautiful, gorgeous, insane toe-tapping catch you've seen all season long. Don't know how he's able to he used every bit of that 6'2.5", 6'3" frame to leap up, get the ball, perfect placement, and get the feet down in bounds. Oh my God, it was so gorgeous. Woo! And that hurt. That hurt. 3rd and 20. Crowd is loud. You get pressure. He gets away and breaks your back with that throw, and Terrence Williams makes that catch. If you're the Seahawks, what can you do? What can you do? What can you do? So, Cowboys now, off the strength of that play, they turn around and they hand it to their horse. They did something that the Seahawks failed to do in this game. They turned around and fed the horse, man. They gave it to DeMarco Murray. And DeMarco Murray breaks off runs of 25, 6, and finally 15 as he gets into the end zone on that 15-yard run. It's a touchdown. Cowboys reassume the lead at 27-23. And again, they're dominating this football game. This is sheer domination. They're dominating the front line in this game. They're dominating the line of scrimmage. They're winning one-on-one matchups with the DBs. They're winning every single matchup except for special teams. That's the one thing that the Cowboys are not winning in this game. But defense, offense, and there's 3 phases. You win 2 out of the 3, you're going to win most games in this league. And right now, the Cowboys are dominating. They're not just winning. They're dominating offense and defense. Special teams is what's holding them back and making this game a close one at 27-23. Cowboys now out in front. Cowboys D forces a turnover on downs as the Hawks go 4 and out. They go for it on 4th down deep in their own territory, aren't able to pick it up. And Orlando Scandrick was acting crazy after the play, and I was acting as if I was Red's dad on Friday. And Orlando Scandrick, after the 4th down play, he's on the sideline, Seahawks talking smack, and over there I'm like, somebody grabbed him. A couple of Cowboys grabbed him, hemmed him up. Like, what are you doing, man? I felt like Red's dad. I was like, come on here, man, messing with these damn people. You crazy? Hey, I felt like, get your ass out over here, man. What are you doing? You trying to pick up this unsportsmanlike conduct taunting penalty? Are you crazy? Get your knucklehead self over here, man. Pop the molly over there on the sideline, on the Cowboys sideline, not over there in front of their bench. You crazy? You trying to give it up? So, luckily enough, the officials showed some restraint because they could have easily called him for taunting right there. Instead, they leave the flag in their pocket where it belongs, and the Cowboys get the football. They got a chance to eat up the clock. Seahawks only have 1 timeout remaining. They use that timeout. Cowboys, with 1 final run, can eat this clock up to about 35 seconds or so. They have a holding penalty on 3rd down, which stops the clock, forces them to kick a field goal. But the Seahawks get the football back with 1 minute and 12 seconds left. They got one last chance, do the Seahawks. And they've had nothing going all day long, and the Cowboys made sure that they didn't start at the end. As Romo, in coverage, down the field, on the tight end, has one eye on Russell Wilson, one eye on the tight end as he's running down the field. Romo is just like this, in coverage. And most linebackers don't look. That's the cardinal sin for most linebackers is that they got their back turned, entire back turn to the quarterback. So the quarterback just throws it over their head, and the tight end picks it off and they have no clue. They're face guarding. They stick their hand up, try to knock it away. Rolo said, man, forget all of that. I'm looking at you, and I'm looking at him at the same time. Rolo's running. He can see both guys. He sees Russell Wilson try to fit it in over his head. He turns around, leaps up. Give me them. Yum, yum. Eat them up. Cookies. Game, set, match. Cowboys march into Seattle and come out with one of the most improbable victories. Maybe Cowboys fans, maybe the Cowboys thought that they were going to do that. I'm going to raise both hands because I didn't think it was going to happen. The Dallas Cowboys staked their claim in Week 6, Statement Sunday in the National Football League. They go in and they make a profound statement. And here it is. You want to hear what the statement is? Hold up. We them boys. Hold up, hold up, hold up. We them boys. Hold up. We making noise. These boys are here. And they're not going anywhere, man. 5-1. I was questioning whether this was a legit 5-1 record. They them boys. They making noise. They went on the road and dominated. One of the most dominant football teams in the last 3-4 years. They went on the road in an environment that few have found it possible to win. 2 losses in the last 3 years. And the Cowboys are one of those 2 losses for the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. And this wasn't just any old loss. This was a dominating performance. The score will fool you. If you did not watch the game, then you think, oh, the Cowboys got away with one. If you watched the game, then you knew this was sheer dominance on the part of the Dallas Cowboys and the Seattle Seahawks. And I don't think for one second that the Seahawks are a bad football team or that they can't bounce back from this. But they got hit in the mouth. And I talked about this before the season started. Every game, you're everybody's Super Bowl. That where, if you've ever heard a team that won the Super Bowl talk about how hard it is to repeat, every team is getting up for you. You're getting the best that team has every single week. And it wears on you. And after a while, it catches up with you. You ran into a juggernaut, a beast of a team. You ran into a buzzsaw called the Dallas Cowboys. Now, how good? I'm still a little nervous about this Cowboys team in terms of consistency because I can see them doing this. And then I still can see them going home against an Eagles team, a Giants team, even a Redskins team, somebody in the division, and laying an egg. I can see that happening. But the team that I saw in this game, defensively dominant, they got pressure on Russell Wilson. They kept him contained. He couldn't run anywhere. 12 rushing yards after 122 versus the Redskins. 12 rushing yards in this game. And 9 of them came on the scramble for a touchdown on read option. So they kept him in the pocket. They got pressure on him consistently. Mincy was coming off the edge. They were getting pressure on him consistently in this game. They forced him to throw an interception. He didn't make a lot of mistakes. Russell Wilson don't make mistakes. He was flustered the entire game. Could never get into a rhythm. I thought the Seahawks failed to run the football. I didn't think the Cowboys necessarily stuffed the run as much as the Seahawks abandoned the run. And so I just thought that this was a game where the Cowboys flexed their muscles. They were flexing. They were flexing in this game, and the Seahawks did nothing about it. Cowboys came flexing in their zone, and the Seahawks, they didn't do nothing about it. And so the Seattle Seahawks now drop to 3-2 on the season. And don't look now, but the Arizona Cardinals are leading this division at 4-1. And the Dallas Cowboys are sitting atop the NFC East at 5-1. Now they got company. Eagles are 5-1 as well, but whoa, this Cowboys team, they made a statement Sunday in Week 6. They're for real. Everything about this team right now is legit. And I was so impressed with this W. I'm looking to see how the Cowboys follow up against the Giants. This is a wounded Giants team that was shut out on Sunday Night Football versus the Eagles. You're at home. Giants coming to town. Victor Cruz probably gone for the season. They didn't score a single point last week. How are you going to respond to some family business now? How you gonna follow up with an encore to what you just did? Because that was ultra impressive. If you're the Seattle Seahawks, hey, it happens. Usually doesn't happen to you at home, but it happens. Dust yourself off, get back up, and know that you might see this team again down the road. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But you got to clean up some things. I need to see more consistency out of you running the football, because I think all year long you've tried to make Russell Wilson into something else. Look, run the football, man. That's where your bread is buttered. And you got to start using Percival Harvin in different ways. This whole bubble screen and jet sweep and him being a gadgety guy, teams are going to pick up on that. And if they're a good team defensively, you're not going to play the Redskins every week where this guy's just going to get loose and score 3 touchdowns. You play against teams that defensively can do some things like Denver did. Denver stuffed him. He did nothing against Denver. Did nothing in this game. Teams that can play some defense, Percival will be a non-factor unless he's doing it in the returns game. And so, you gotta go back to the drawing board, clean some things up, you'll be fine. But this was more about the Cowboys dominating you than anything else. And that's going to do it for Hawks and Cowboys in the Lab Room game of the week. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the Lab Room. Come back and join me as I will do this again very shortly. I've got plenty more games to break down in week number 6 in the National Football League. Come back and join me as I continue to break down Statement Sunday in the National Football League. See you in a bit.